over Northeastern, run their record to 10-1. Pitching dominated. That's the story of today. We will get to the offense. Look, it's been 8 runs on 10 hits over the course of 2 days. I know that's not going to sit well with a lot of people, but the pitching deserves a spotlight today because Cooper Moore and Devin Sheeran were absolutely spectacular. So that's probably where we will start. Ultimately, look, it's another victory. LSU manufactured runs very well, and they got out of here with what you're after. You're 2-0 on the weekend. You have 2 more games to go, and I like that they're winning in different ways. Y'all smash the like button, please, if you have not already. Get subscribed to YouTube channel, podcast apps, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow on social media. All of that is greatly appreciated. And please, 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 make sure you share. We will start with Cooper Moore. Wow. Carried a no-hitter through 4 1/3. Was absolutely dominant. Made one bad pitch. It got hit over the fence. Tip your hat. He went 7 1/3, punched out 10. Punched out 10. Looked like he finished with every pitch in his arsenal today. And I'm just speculating there, y'all. I'll be quite honest. I don't know if he did, but it sure as hell felt like he finished with fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, all of them today. He was locked in. He is such a joy to watch pitch. He's such a throwback. You watch Cooper Williams, it's 5 pitches, it's strikes, it's efficiency, it is ground balls, it is strikeouts, and it's just a joy to watch number 22 out on the mound, and he had that lineup in his back pocket all day. I'll put it this way for you, and again, we'll get to the offense, but I will put it this way for you. That's about as comfortable of a 3-1 win as you can sit down and watch. It never felt like it was in jeopardy. Even with the bad at-bats late in the game, you knew with Cooper Moore and Devin Sheeran on the mound, you were in great shape, and lo and behold, you were. You know, Moore was able to work out of a couple jams early. Not really jams, but a couple. You know, he had the walk in the 3rd, and a hit there, and he went right around it. And there was no real urgency. There was no real sweat with him on the bump today. You know, I really thought early in his outing, the curveball looked great for Cooper Moore early, but with his arsenal, man, it just... You don't need one pitch to carry the day. Like I said earlier, again, I wasn't keeping track of this, but it felt like Cooper Moore finished with every pitch in his arsenal today. Struck out 10 again. That's awesome. So he was fantastic. He set the tone. He carried the day. And you know what? You had the drop 3rd strike there in the 8th inning to prevent him from getting through 8 complete, but Devin Sheeran comes in and absolutely slams the door. He touched 98, stuck with the fastball for the majority of the day, touched 98 at the end, but mixed in the slider as well. Thought he was awesome. Devin Sheeran has now faced 21 batters on the year. He has struck out 13 of them and has not given up a run. So I know y'all want to talk about the offense, and I'll do that, but man, the story of the day, the story of the weekend right now is LSU has used 4 pitchers to win 2 games, and that's very, very encouraging going forward. Was it flawless for Case and Evans last night? No, it wasn't. But you know what? You used Evans and Guidry, and that's a great recipe on Friday nights. And then on Saturday, you used Moore and Sheeran, and you're going to win a lot of games this year if you can go that way. So major hat tip to those 2 guys. They were awesome when LSU needed them to be, and that was as comfortable of a 3-1 win as I can remember ever watching in the game of baseball, because Moore and Sheeran were just in complete control the entire way there. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Please get subscribed, and let's talk about the LSU offense, which has flat out not been good enough through 2 games. Let me say that again. The LSU offense has not been good enough through 2 games. We have that on the record. We understand where I stand. Okay. So here's the other part of that. I am not concerned at all. Why? Because number 2 is in that dugout, and number 2 is leading this offense, and they will figure it out. I would rather this happen now than when you go up to Vanderbilt in 2 weeks. Do they need to work on some things? Absolutely, they need to work on some things. Number 1, the pop-ups continued. And that needs to stop. Early in the game, thought the at-bats were fine. Did you get the big hit when you needed to? No. But you stole a run early with the double steal, which is nice that they can manufacture the runs. After that, you had a couple chances for big innings, and you couldn't come through. And that's disappointing. And that carries through a problem that you had Tuesday night and a night ago on Friday where you just couldn't really get the big hit consistently. And that's something that needs to return to this offense. LSU, what they were so good at through the first 8 games of this year was the patient aggressiveness at the plate. They were really able to pick their pitch and do damage on their pitch. They weren't chasing out of the zone. You're seeing more chasing right now with LSU's bats. That's a little bit discouraging. You're seeing, obviously, a lot of hitting to the bottom of the baseball. Early in the game, when LSU put up their 3 runs, you saw ground balls, you saw line drives. That's what this team has to do. They have come back to earth with the power. They are what we thought they were from a power standpoint. They're not powerful. Driving the ball out of the park is not where this team is going to make their money. That's not where they're going to make their hay. They have got to hit low line drives and stay on top of the baseball the majority of the time. I thought LSU had some hard hit balls. I thought LSU did a much better job today of taking advantage of free passes. 2 out of your 3 runs scored because the runner who scored was walked. That's a good thing. They got to get in the cages, though, and Jay Johnson's going to handle that. I understand this might not be the explanation many want. You want me to come out here and crush the offense? I trust number 2. I just do. All of his teams have hit everywhere he's been, and this one will too. They hit the cover off the ball the first 8 games. They will get back to that. What is disappointing is they look a little lost. It's similar to the game you saw against Milwaukee, that second game, where LSU is letting pitches go by because they're off balance. They're confused. They don't know what's coming. That's what I see when I watch this team at the plate right now. I look at very uncomfortable hitters who just, they're not quite sold on what it's going to be. I got to get the sun out of my eyes. That's killing me. They're not quite sold on what it's going to be at the plate. And again, I'll go back to when they're letting 92 mile per hour fastballs go by, they're off balance. They're not expecting it. That needs to get a little bit better. But look, Jay Johnson had a great line last night after the game. He had a great line. He talked about the offense kind of throughout his press conference and gave you some good, gave you some bad, but his parting shot, it was literally the second to last question he was asked, or it might have been the penultimate question that he was asked. His parting shot was, someone else is going to have to run the program because I'm about to live in the cages. So forgive me for having confidence in that guy. There were points last year LSU's offense struggled, and they were real good when it mattered. This team will be too. They just have to work through it a little bit more, and you need a little bit of more quality at bat and a little bit more deeper at bat in there as well. But you know what? You had some good ones early in the game. You did. It's just not enough of them currently. These are 2 teams that, man, you looked at and you thought LSU could really put up some runs against. They haven't. And you know what? Call it whatever you want. Call it sunshine pumping. Call it anything you want. I don't care. Call it spin, whatever. I think it's good that they have to win games like this early in the season. I really, really think it is. That you can go through against 2 veteran lineups, because while the pitching is not great for Northeastern or Dartmouth at the moment, I think they have an opportunity to be very good. Their lineups are veteran. That's where they have their most returners. And your pitching is dominated. And that is encouraging. You were able to absolutely hold the run game in check the first 2 games because there just weren't many base runners. That's very good. So, look, this team has time. They have really good players. I mean, I can't ignore, when talking about the offense, I cannot ignore what I saw for the first 8 games just because of what I've seen for the last 3. And I won't. They have good hitters. They have the best offensive coach in the nation, in my opinion, and they will get it going. I do want to point out Omar Cerna, the at-bat he had that drove in the run. Again, you had the... All right, here we go. We're back. We're back? Are we good? I got a spam call. The spam call froze the stream. Anyway, we were talking about Omar Cerna. Cerna comes up, I believe it was the 3rd inning. You had a 1-out walk, a wild pitch advances the runner. Cerna's down 1-2, And then he serves a beautiful opposite the field line drive to drive in that run. That is the at-bat that really, really sticks out to me so far in this game. I thought they had a couple of hard hit balls that got caught, but ultimately you need more at the plate. Like 100%. Like that's what you need, and you'll get it. You will get it. But the story of today is the pitching. Cooper Moore and Devin Sheeran, as we led this thing off with, they were awesome. You don't have too many 3-1 wins that you feel like it's not in doubt. And that's how I felt today watching that, because those two arms were completely in control. Y'all smash the like button, please, if you have not already. Get subscribed, YouTube channel, podcast app, anywhere you want to watch the show you can. And let's get into some questions. We're getting to questions earlier. Questions, comments, concerns. I will say this, especially spam calls, Andrew. He says, no one call. It's not as important as the post game. You're right, but especially the spam calls. Get out of here with that, spam calls. I will say Luke Rising out of the Northeastern bullpen, he impressed me. And look, JP brought up Jeff Head, and I cannot wait to talk about this. Hold on. Let me finish the thought on Luke Rising, because I thought he pitched really well. That kid's got good stuff. He is the guy out of their pen. Like, that's their top arm, and he was very, very good. He mixed well. One of the guys we talked about in the preview. Remember, Northeastern, they pride themselves on pitching. They have to replace 90% of their innings, so they're going through growing pains, but they've got good arms. And I think you saw that a little bit today. All right, Jeff Head. My favorite Jeff Head moment of this day was in the first inning when Zach York came up to the plate. And Zach York has the best eye on the team. Can we kind of agree with that? Like, it's him, Stephen Milam, and Seth Dardar. Those are the guys who have struck out the least so far on this team. And he rung up Zach York, and York turned around and had words with him. And my first thought, I almost tweeted it and I should have, was, Zach, meet Jeff Head. He umpires a lot of these games. He's horrible. Welcome to the SEC. Like, that is absolutely my thought there. I loathe seeing that man show up to the box, but he does quite often. So get used to it, Zach York. Mitchell Kyle, do you want to see Harden in left or keep the Braun and Simpson platoon? I think it can wait until Stanfield's return. Yeah, I want to see Daniel Harden just because I want to see Daniel Harden. I think the guy's an absolutely freak athlete, and I want to see, like, I want to see him get the run. But I thought Braun handled left field much better than he handled right field yesterday, and Braden Simpson turned in some really nice at-bats so far this weekend. When you're looking at an offense that is struggling and scuffling right now, having a guy in there like Simpson who's turning in great at-bats is something I want. I know he had a couple punch-outs today, but he walked 3 times a night ago. He had the RBI single that drove in your second run of the game. I like what I'm seeing, and I like him a lot in the bottom of the order, Mitchell. I like Simpson down there because where you're looking for that 1 through 9 production. I think he gives you that. I really like Mason Braun as well, though. I prefer him more in a DH role. I think he's a first baseman. I don't think that young man's an outfielder. He doesn't look very comfortable out there right now. It's a new experience. So that's pretty good. Real NIL Young Boy says Pearson over Caraway at this point, too. Are you trolling? I don't understand that. And Caraway's played really well this weekend. He's fielded everything over at third. He had a great hit and run a night ago. He's playing fine. I would like to see Big Don in the lineup a little bit more, but you only got 9 spots, so you have to figure that out. But I'm not about to take Trent Caraway out of the lineup. I think he's done great. John says Moore has looked like the Friday night guy early in the year in terms of numbers, not as dynamic as Schmidt can be, but any chance you think they make that switch? This is a great question, John, and I'm glad you brought it up. I actually was probably going to talk about that this week on the show, but I'll do it right now. I like Cooper Moore in the Saturday spot. I don't want to move him, and here's why. I like having that guy there. In case you do drop Friday night, you feel great about having him there on Sunday. You can switch it and be like, oh, what about if he's just out there on Friday and you guarantee your win on Friday? Sure. Either way, you might end up in a marble game there on Sunday. But I think LSU is actually going to win more Friday nights than not this year because of the depth of the bullpen that they have. When you can go to Sheeran, to Guidry, to Cooper Williams, to all the guys you've seen run out there and they pitch really well on Friday, you should have enough to piece that together. And I'm saying that in the thought process that this offense is going to come around, which I believe that they will. So you have that, you win that, you have Cooper Moore right there to shut things down on Saturday, and hopefully you just take the series there. So that's kind of my thought process there. Can he pitch on Fridays in the SEC? Absolutely. The stuff isn't as electric, and you know what? You saw the velocity dip a little when he was in, to his 8th inning, up around 100 pitches, but that's fine, man. That's going to happen. He's 93, 94 with 5 pitches. He can pitch on a Friday night in the league, sure, but I really like having him, that shutdown guy there, potentially in Saturday, because as I said, I think LSU is going to win a lot of Friday nights this year. I really do. When you look around the SEC and you look around LSU's schedule, there's not a lot of shut down aces that you feel good about right now. I mean, the young man at Vanderbilt is a good pitcher, but he tops out at 90 miles per hour from a sidearm arm slot. Okay, Irvine took him to task yesterday out in Vegas. Liam Peterson for Florida, he's got a stuff, and he was great last night against Miami, but that's been a roller coaster for him so far throughout his career in that spot. Georgia has the kid from Stanford, who's got great stuff, but man, production has not been there for him, and I can't really take anything they've done seriously because they have played absolutely nobody. Oklahoma's got Cam Johnson. Okay, he looks really good early, but when he gets into conference play, does he revert? Hunter Elliott is awesome at Ole Miss. So is Cade Townsend. Their 1-2 is arguably the best 1-2 that I've seen so far in the league right now. You don't play Arkansas. You don't play Texas. I think LSU's schedule, while it looks really tough on the road, I think it's more manageable. I mean, look, Tegan Kuhns is pretty good at Tennessee, but he's had his struggles on Friday nights so far early this year as well. He's given up some runs. So I actually think the way they have the rotation set up right now is very, very good. Like I said, good question. I'm glad you asked that because, as you can tell, I've had thoughts, and I actually might run that back for an episode this weekend as well, just given LSU's going into their final conference. Some chats popped up. I was in the zone, didn't see them. If you asked a question, drop it back in there. We got a few more minutes. What you got? Smash the like button while we wait, please, and share. That helps immensely. All right, I guess I'll just go right back through the chat. Why we got York trying to steal third? I think Seth Dardar missed the sign there. I think that's pretty blatantly obvious, and that sucked because that was LSU's probably their best chance for a big inning today, and they ended up running themselves out of it. But I think it was a missed sign. I don't think LSU is knowingly and intentionally trying to straight steal Zach York on a double steal to third. I don't think that is. I don't think that's there. Andrew Sapp says, do you think Jay will tinker the lineup for the rest of the weekend or try and spark the offense? I think he could. I think you saw a few tinkerings today. He moved Milam down to the 4-hole and York up. You saw Caraway hit 8th and Cerna hit 9th. So he is going for that. But, you just have to shake it up again. And the thing with tinkering the lineup, it's the order. The guys you have in the lineup are the guys you're going to have in the lineup. So it's really the order that you need there. That you need to figure it out. But that's true. And yes, Bird Dog, Jay got win number 200 at LSU today. Thank you. They announced that at the game, and I meant to bring that up off the jump. That's an awesome milestone. Even more impressive is the 78 losses. Jay Johnson is 278 at LSU. 278 at LSU with 2 national championships. Do whatever you have to do to keep him here forever. If you ever, for any reason, let that man leave this place, whoever made that choice should be fired on the spot. Keep him in there forever. He is never allowed to leave. That should be a known thing at LSU, and they got work to do. So 278 with 2 titles. in 5 years. That is really, really, really good. I see a lot of people saying it's time to move Curiel down in the lineup, and I'm just not there. I'm sorry. Stop. No. Derek Curiel is not only the best leadoff hitter on this team, I think he's the only real leadoff hitter on this team. Just last night, he went 2 for 4 and drove in the game-winning runs. It's one game. He's good. I'm good with Curiel in the leadoff spot. He sees pitches. He's got the ability to get himself in a scoring position. I'm good there. I really am. It will be fine. The kid hit 350 last year in the leadoff hole as a freshman. He's fine. It will happen. You got 45 more games. It's okay. So I'm very, very good with Curiel in the leadoff spot. If you want to tinker a few more spots in the lineup, okay. I'm good with that. I wouldn't mind Milam moving down, to be honest with you. I wouldn't mind that. Milam can hit anywhere in the lineup. You had him at an 8-hole opening day last year. That'd be a good potential piece to move there. You go potentially with a guy like Dardar. He's striking out a little bit more. Not a lot, but a little bit more. Maybe move him down. Who do you bump up in that case? My answer is Braden Simpson. As much as I love him down in the bottom with the, with the production that he's been providing down there, 7, 8, 9 for you. Maybe get him up in the lineup, move him up there in the lineup a touch. I think you have options, but if you want Curiel moved down, please, who do you put in his spot? Who leads off instead of Derek Curiel? I'll have a conversation. You know where I stand. I'll have a conversation. So who goes there? The last 7 days, Jonesy. They've played terrible baseball the last 7 days. My brother in Christ, it's Saturday. That includes the Notre Dame and UCF game. If you want to go back to Tuesday, yes, they have not played great baseball at the plate. They've pitched their ass off, though, haven't they? Winning in multiple ways, my guy. You got 45 more games. Chill out. Curiel, if we move him down, who goes in his spot? Mitchell Kelly says Milam or Brown, if anyone. I could see Milam there. He doesn't strike out. That's the reason. But Steven Milam's also hitting about 275 right now. So, Jake Brown, okay. I'm good with that, too. I could do Brown in the leadoff spot for a game or two, but my preference is still Curiel. My preference is still that. I could hear Jake Brown, but my counter to that is I like Brown coming up with men on base. Now, the bottom of the lineup, if they continue to produce at the clip that they have, I mean, you look, Simpson drove in a run, Cerner drove in a run today, then that could get Brown opportunities there, but him in the 2-hole really excites me because it gets him up the same amount of times as the leadoff spot, and it gets him up with more runners on base potentially than the leadoff spot would. So that's kind of my only rebuttal to that. But Jake Brown could be a good substitute, sure. Like I said, I'm always willing to have a conversation. I just stand where I stand, and I think Derek Curiel needs to stay in that spot. But we'll see. I will say this: the back-to-back strikeouts to open the game, that's not great. But I think everyone just expects so much from him. I think everyone expects so much from him that one bat at bat clouds some stuff. I really do. Questions. I got 2-3 more minutes that I'll stay here. And then I'm going to be honest, guys, I think I'm going to go get a steak tonight. I think a steak and a cold beer sounds real good. I have a bottle of red wine that I could open, but I don't really want to drink that entire thing tonight. So we'll see. I don't know. Gomaha says Stanny and Aaron Beatty win. Aaron Beatty played last night. He took horrible at bats, and Omar Cerna has caught Cooper Moore all season. That was planned. Aaron Beatty will be back in the lineup tomorrow. I fully expect that. Chris Stanfield, I would look for next weekend against Sacramento State. Andrew Sapp says, how do you like your steak? Medium rare, Andrew. That is the steak, brother. You don't, medium rare or nothing for me on a steak. Every time. I think medium is even blasphemous. Like, you need the medium rare, man. That's great. All right. Great show. Good win. Not perfect, but you won. Have to have those days in baseball. Always enjoy our chats. Y'all smash the like button, please. And be here next time for more Moose with the Ball.